3-map train will be the final of those maps here between SELECTAH and EXCELLENCY to see who's going to take their first victory here in our Swiss system stage. EXCELLENCY get the knife round there for they get their choice aside. And it is a map that has done well for them in the past. The Dust 2 loss, you can understand they've not won it even against some pretty, lackluster teams, but they got a 60% win rate over here on train. So what says you about the victory chances here for EXCELLENCY, or SELECTAH for that matter?
I can certainly think that EXCELLENCY are going to have a pretty easy time, to be completely honest, on train. You look at some of the results, yeah, look, they've had two losses, 3 wins, but the wins that they've been able to gather against Sprout, August, Little Mix, and then the losses against Honorous and Sprout, which, again, some top tier 2 teams, or, well, at least for Sprout for that matter. So you've got to think for EXCELLENCY, they should realistically have a relatively easy time on this map. But at the same time, I've been pretty impressed from SELECTAH today. They put up a decent performance, a decent comeback on that first map. They got to double digits. They were able to 16-13 Dust 2. So certainly for a team that's never had any maps on HLTV as an official other than today, they've actually come into this series looking pretty good.
And the key thing to remember as well about the Sprout victory, or the Sprout loss I should say, is that they took a win against them prior to that map up. So, they've already had some experience winning against some pretty decent tier 2 teams. So, even though it's not consistent for EXCELLENCY, even though they've had some struggles against Lil Mix and August, there's still a good shout, I think, for them to take this third map and beat out the SELECTAH side. But we'll find out who's going to take the victory right now. As we get to the pistol round, EXCELLENCY over on the CT starts. And we have SELECTAH standing out to the T side here over in the Ivy presence initially. 3 players out on the spread out defaults here. I'm looking to try and storm down Rylex's position.
Jim Cup in with what looks to be a deep consmote to come out for the T side. Actually, no, it actually bounces off to be a back green, so helping the Ivy presence to come out for the T side. And straight away, information's been seen. But the wraparound's coming in. This is actually looking to be a B-side play.
The taps from USP missing every single shot here for Rylax. Edward can take him and Hutchie down. David's here alongside his backup here on the bomb site. Holmes gets 2 picks. They're going to run right past him, but again, the shot's missed on the CT side. They should know where Holmes is, and indeed Tapper will tap him down and get SELECTAH a pistol round.
And honestly, for EXCELLENCY, they were in pretty good positions. They had the information that it was a wraparound in through CT to the B bomb site, but the entries from the Glocks were looking incredible. Edward in particular has been able to put up some really great performances in terms of the pistol rounds. 3 kills from him, and straight away going into round number 2, it's going to be the Force coming up for EXCELLENCY. A good start on the T side. You've got to think for SELECTAH, if they can maybe get 5 rounds, any more than that, they could be happy with this T-sided train, because it's really going to be the CT side where they probably find more success.
EXCELLENCY will need to try and step things up, obviously. That's the kind of start they wanted off the back of that pistol. Bit poor in certain respects as Edward tries to bait in the likes of Rylex and co. CT so close to him, he has no idea, and Rylex will be able to respond to the man. So 5-on-4 situation to kick things off, and AK picked up for the EXCELLENCY side as well.
Not bad at all. Save that back. No need to continue the aggression. Even for Holmes, this smoke's going to start to dissipate. He's got to make a decision here. Does he fall back or continue the presence? Even for Hajit, man, he has been doing so many lurk plays at the flanks. They know it's B.
Right, they do. They really do. Set up for the CT camp and tap up damage done to Tapper. Jimka takes out Holmes. The Eagle out here for NK gets 1, drops that bomb, but Jimka and Tapper respond all the same. Scout shot's not quite connecting to a 3-on-2 situation. Seeing players down, the Molotov's out against Hutchie. Coming from the back is going to make his way forward. Try to take down Jimka. Indeed, he gets it, but he burns alive. They really needed that man advantage, ideally. Tapper not faced in against, though. The Galil out. Did the Scout see him? I think he might have done. Raven waits for Tapper, but they haven't got time for this. Nades up, and that should reveal the position. 20 seconds left. The scope's got to come through. Got to check the right place at the right time. He gets Tapper. Looks back in for more. Gets the tag. The Molotov on site, though. That should seal it. That should seal it. No, Raven's going to go for an aggressive plant here on the bomb train itself. AK swapped out too, and the burst fire gives up his position for Raven to find the trade. Just holding on to a second for SELECTAH.
Oh my goodness. Again, it one thing I'm noticing a lot at the moment for this Excellency side, Jay, is that they get so much information. They put themselves in good positions, but I'm not sure what it is, whether it's the fact of the crossfires just not really being set on the site, but that should have been a round success. They had 3 players at the B bomb side. They had Haji on a quick flank out through the showers position. They knew it was a B play, and even with that, SELECTAH were able to win out the clutch and win out a secondary round.
Fast play. Ooh, Rylax moving down Raven. Tapper with 2 taps, 2 sprays, I should say, on towards NK and Rylax. Nice and easy. Deagle out from the backline position, and Dav will get himself 1 good kill. Hutchi will follow suit. Galil turns on for a 2nd kill here for Dav. So damage has been done, 2-on-2 with no investment out from Excellency. USP tapping up Tapper, 11 points of health. They should know that he's tagged. The AK swings in the back of red though, deals with him. The plant can come through towards B or A, whichever way they want to go right now. They've got options, and there's not really many left for Holmes on the contrary.
Not really at all. Tapper is low, there is that much, but you've got to think with Jimka at 100 HP and with 2 players alive, they certainly should not be losing around like this. Holmes going to potentially try and backstab out through Pop Dog as he aggresses in through brown holes, but even for him, USP and Azus, it's going to be difficult.
Maybe able to get the exit on the player here in Pop Dog if he has that Zeus out against Jimka at the right time, grab a free AK. But all in all, Excellency can be happy with this eco. 3 players falling down, plenty of money wasted back from SELECTAH. Reinvestment going to come through. If he can take Tapper next, that would be even better for them. I think he's going to get away through Pop Dog though, so Holmes will not have a chance to take this player down.
He's looking for an AK. As soon as that bomb goes off, he's going to try and run out.
All right, well, that might be a way in. Ob's against running out instead.
Okay.
But Tapper does go down to the bomb explosion, so that's 4 casualties sustained by SELECTAH. Excellency can be really happy with what they got there.
Yeah, look, they certainly can be. But one thing that they've got to be thinking about is, yeah, look, we're doing damage on these eco rounds, but we need rounds on the board and we need to convert this rifle round. Whether we see a bit of a change up with a little bit more aggression, it's been really passive coming out for the most part from Excellency. We saw that 1 round where Haji got very aggressive, but outside of that, it's been relatively passive on the sides. Oh, this is quick out through the Poplar position.
Oh, and NK is quick to double up. 2 frags on Edward and Jimka. 5-on-3 situation. AK is watching, trying to get themselves back out of dodge. The AWP scoped in for Dav, going to get right back out of danger as well.
And well, for Excellency, NK just shuts it down. And disadvantage. It's going to be really difficult to bring a round back like this. JL, the best thing that he can do is maybe try and sell a fake out through T-Con or catch a lurk or something. Even with that molly coming out, he can't even aggress.
45 seconds, and Holmes jump facing, seeing that AK. Dav keeping his eyes on with his AWP, ready for a ramp face, and there's a likely chance he'll receive it as well. Time is ticking away. I believe the CTs are starting to get impatient. Hutchi's considering that Pop Dog face. If they send the utility out, then he might as well go for it as well. The backstab could be very valuable right now to the CT camp. Loads of information again with the smokes and the Molotovs are going to counter-rotate back. Hutchi tack turn, gets Tapper. Manic spray against Raven, but he does get out of dodge in time. Holds face, can't get the kill, but 31 HP. Raven's got no way in. They'll see 1 man out of T-Con. Raven's going to burn alive. And last player left in JL. 5 seconds to get the bomb plant. He will get traded. And it will be a first on the board for the CT Excellency.
What? The player out for T-Con, JL, just mollied his teammate that's coming out of Pop Dog. There must have been some miscomms or something there, but it's not even the CT Smolly that goes into Pop Dog. I don't know what happened there for SELECTAH, but you've got to think, as soon as Haji aggresses out through Pop Dog and realizes it's a B fake and it's an A play, that round's pretty much all but over. And with 3 in a row, Jay, now with a loss means that they're really not going to have a great amount of money. This probably should have been an eco, but knowing SELECTAH, they seem to always force.
I mean, yeah, it kind of fits in with their playstyle so far that we've seen so far over the course of this half. So far of this half of this series, I should be more specific. Molotovs pushed up by Smokes. NK going to maintain the pop dog position alongside Hutchie, and they eventually fall back out position, ready for an execute to come through from the T's. Nades on, damage done to Edward and Jimka. They make their way out. Flashes evaded. Burst in from NK. Hutchie gets Jimka down. A 4 versus 2, I should say, as the trades do come back for the T side, at least getting something done. But Tech 9 of Edward needs to get a whole lot more than just this one kill, and he won't go far with it. P250 out for JL. 1 versus 3, dealt with by Holmes. And 2 on the board for Excellency here. Very efficient stuff coming in. The CT defensive looking real confident.
Yeah, look, it certainly is. Only 2 players go down to a complete full buy, which they can be pretty happy with. But they've now got to be focusing on trying to build up this economy and making sure that going into round 6, it really shouldn't be a lot of upgrades. It should be Glocks for most of them. We're seeing a Deagle and P250 upgrade. And well, for SELECTAH, they did get off to a bit of an early lead on this map of Train, but it looks like it is going to get tied up at 3 rounds each.
A lot of it has worked as well pretty effectively for Excellency. SMG is close. Tech 9 standing for Holmes. Falling back out to the bomb site itself. Incendiary set and ready. Going to actually extinguish the smokes. Thought he was safe in that case. He's not. Tech 9 still spams. Gets so much damage. Gets 2 kills. He's somehow still alive. It's a knife from Tapper that takes him down. SMG bursting in from NK. What was that defense? I have no idea. No idea how SELECTAH put that many players on a pistol and still couldn't get the round.
I don't know what happened there. I really don't. They get the knife attempt, so they get a little bit more money in the bank. Man, that was one weird round coming out from SELECTAH, and we've kind of said that throughout the course. Maybe not all of the rounds, but there certainly have been a handful in this series that have been very awkward for both sides. But 3-3 tied up. Look at the aggression coming out with the MP9, and straight away from Holmes, this is just sheer aggression.
Straight out with a frag, and then AK recovered as well. SMG dropped because, well, why would you keep that? You can have yourself a one-shot headshot weaponry. Takes that damage as well to return back. Edward's also been tagged up. They've got NK here in Pop Dog supporting from his teammates' other position. And the T's wrap back over to the apartments, going to continue controlling. 1:15 to the clock, and SELECTAH have slowed this down.
Slowing it right down. And again, you've got to think for Excellency, we saw aggression in the early round, probably won't see it again. From here, we're seeing Holmes, he picked up that AK, he's gone real back passive and very deep into the site with that AK, taking a long-range engagement. And 50 seconds left, they don't really have a lot of information at the moment. There hasn't been a lot of utility being thrown, and that's because for the T side, they're just waiting in the brown halls.
40 seconds left to the clock. It's SELECTAH need to make a move eventually. Down by a man, so all the more reason to press forward. Smokes coming up and over. 3 T-side players to make their way out from ramp. Holmes going to blind fire. Do quite a lot of damage, take a lot more back as well. 3 HP for the man, but Edward and Tapper are down to 66 or lower. Bomb plant will be secured. It'll be a 5 versus 4 retake for Excellency, but again, Holmes being solo HP, he can't really take much of an aggressive face with this. He's going to have to play a much more supportive role. A SELECTAH just wait for the Excellency side to show their teeth. When will they strike? How will they strike? They are bunched up together in the back line, now starting to take control of no man's land. And face up from Raven, takes 1, sees a second. Edward going to start swinging around towards Summit. Spot spray back from Raven here, and Marshmallow gets 1. Edward gets traded back to 3-on-3. They need to get to the bomb right now. They will take Raven down. AWP upstairs. Holmes on the bomb right now. Dav gets 1. Spray back from Tapper, wins the round. And Dav will trade it, but the T's had way too much presence here. Excellency couldn't overwhelm them, and they concede 4 back to the T side.
Oh my goodness, that's a huge clutch coming out from Tapper. And you've got to think for Excellency, they had a lot of advantages in that retake. They had a 5-on-4, they were able to damage up a couple of the opponents on the T side. But the fact is, they just took a little bit too long there, and you've got to think from Tapper, as soon as he takes down those 2 players, Dav is just too far back. No way he can go for that retake. And for Excellency, they've certainly got to be disappointed they didn't win out that round. If they were just a fraction quicker, then they could have got that retake going.
Did so much right there, but still could not get to the round for Excellency. A little bit too late. Look at Selecta trying to reaggress very early on in these defaults. Look at Edward out the gate here with the MAC-10 in particular, straight up to the sandwich position and back out behind E-boxes. Will look to disappear through Pop Dog to rejoin his teammates up in the brown halls, who are once again leaning to the B bomb site. This time only one defender here. That's Holmes behind White.
And they're going to rotate that AWP in if Dav. That's going to help out the defensive hold at B, especially if he gets the timing right and is able to find an opening pick. SELECTAH. Edward's trying to sell a fake. No, they're actually going to commit to this A bomb site, using the utility at B and then just running out Pop Dog.
3 players left standing for either side. Dav getting the latest trade, missing his shot on the bomb point though. He's going to try to go for the lower wall bang. No, he doesn't go for a second shot. They'll leave Holmes boosted up to the ticket booth instead. Looking for Raven and the AK. Jimka against Rylax next. Khalil checking left-hand side, facing up. Holmes takes him down. 2 more left to the E-box and Pop Dog, and Rylax and Holmes with the crossfire set. Much better, much quicker, much more coordinated from Excellency.
And I think they just certainly need a bit of a change of pace on these retakes, and that's what we saw in this round right here, Jay. Rather than really slowing it down and gathering time, gathering position, they're not chaotic, but they certainly turn up the tempo. It's a lot quicker. The trading abilities there, the crossfires are being set. And for SELECTAH, even though they don't win out that round, I think that was a really smart play that they were able to get Edward out to that A bomb site to start the round off. He goes back in through Pop Dog. They sell the fake at B, run down back to the A bomb site. But the problem they couldn't find was dealing with those entries in an advantage scenario.
The AK is out aggressive here for Rylex, looking down towards Ivy into the T-spawn. Not going to see anybody because they're pretty far pushed up with the way they want to go about this. And he'll continue looking for information here as they're going to go past out the B bomb site. Spray through on the first man takes him down. Manic burst coming in from Holmes, but he just can't finish the job on Raven. 3 HP, and he's able to secure a bomb plant forward. There's going to be a massive amount of time and a man advantage bought for the CTs, but as Hutchie takes down Edward, they will find one of those things. Now retakes slowly but surely coming together. You've got JL here with an eagle up against Rylex. First good shot to the head, takes it back to even standing, and Jimka going to sneak up the right-hand side of Oil. Dav deals with him. Raven goes down to Hutchie and looks for JL, the last frag. AK turns on for one good pick. NK's going to give him the 1v1 as well. 19 HP, and they've got to do this damage. He's got to take him down. It doesn't land deep enough. Dav's got no time. Got to stick the full 5 seconds. He's forcing JL to peek against it. AK takes space. 9 takes him down, but he's out of time. He's out of dodge. He's out of the round. Excellency. Leaving 1v1s to SELECTAH players. You don't have to do that. Get one player up position, cover off the angle, stick the defuse and win the round.
Man, I tell you what, Excellency, they haven't struggled, but I would say in comparison to some of the results they've been able to pull out on train, this is looking really disappointing of a CT half, already giving the lead up for SELECTAH. I cannot believe we're seeing some of these rounds. I mean, it just comes down to some really great clutching abilities from SELECTAH. Man, 5-4 up. I certainly did not expect this, especially on the T side of train.
SELECTAH doing a really good job on T-side, and I thought this would be the final moment where the T-sides are going to start falling off in this series, because you know, when you ever see a fantastic T-side from anyone that wasn't 2015 Na'Vi on train, you know, you never do.
Or even any T-side that don't play this map. That's the big thing. These guys don't have any maps on record. You shouldn't expect such a great T-side from them, but they're delivering.
Well, certainly, if they have a CT basis, they get a lot to be proud of. So look into that second half with a major advantage. Yeah, second player falling in the Pop Dog position. The SMG just couldn't get the necessary lineup, and even then it would have been unlikely to get any more than one frag. 45 seconds, SELECTAH in full control as Excellency leave the B bomb site, most likely to go for a save if they decide to commit to B. They're going to go put the smokes down. I think this is a fake towards A, though. They're out and popped up with the bomb. M4 burst up, trying to take down one. He does get JL. Dav gets Edward. And now they realize what's going on here. SELECTAH going to make their way back into the B bomb site. But do they go for a retake here, Excellency?
Oh, you've got to think they have to, right? 3-on-3, yeah, the money line's not there, but this is an opportunity to win out a round and get back into control. But for the T side, they're already so aggressive. Great kill comes through, but can they pull the distraction away with Raven out through oil? And it's all down to Jimka.
1-on-2, edge of the smoke, but got barely any cover, and as he swings in, Rylax will deal the damage to take the kill. 2 players standing for Excellency, a bit of damage done at the CT side, but a round victory is the most important thing for this CT camp, because they were looking a bit broken off the back of that last retake. And now, things look impressive again. The money from the T side does not look that impressive at all, though. They might have to go for an eco or a half buy here. The loss bonus has really ticked away from them having won so many rounds.
Yeah, it makes it really awkward for the T side. And Excellency, it's a great retake from them. Unfortunately for the T side, they try to get really far up aggressive around that oil train and connector, but they just weren't able to win out the fights. And 5-5, we're tied up once again on train. You'd have to think, especially with this buy coming out for the T's, that really for Excellency, it should be a bit of a shutdown. A bomb plant at most, I would say.
On the B bomb site, SMG of Holmes taking face, smoke up. And they make their way out. Burst through, takes 1 and 2. Continues to do damage as Dav gets Edward next. Nade onto the bomb site, gets JL. And Raven, last round of 1 versus 5. It's the SMG of Holmes that cleans it up. 4 frags for him, $1,800 gained off the kill bonus on the SMG. And that is Excellency gaining a lead above SELECTAH, I think for the first time in this map.
Yeah, you're actually probably right, because it was always either tied or they were in a deficit. Something to cheer about, I suppose, but they probably won't be too pleased. They'll be really trying to look to extend this lead. No chance of celebrations just quite yet. And for the T side, not a lot of utility, but it's fast out of the gates from T-Con. This is so damn quick to come out, but it's going to be Hudgy to find the opener.
First kill, Jimka. NK gets 2 more to return. 4-on-2. Bomb dropped out over at red. Spray back from Relax. Takes JL. Tapper last man standing. 1-on-3. And burst through on Holmes. He'll take down Tapper quickly on the small gap there from the blue train to hell. And Excellency connecting 2 together. SELECTAH with a force buy as well. That's still going to leave the economy in an even worse state than the last round. So 8 rounds probably for the CT half. They struggled to get there, but they could go quite far now.
No, they certainly could. This could really be the momentum that they were looking for. One thing they've certainly struggled with for most of this half is building up a strong economy. This is their chance. Going forward, not too many rounds left to close out the half. And Excellency, they'll be looking for double digits. Seeing if they can get up to 10 rounds, at least in round 13. Again, just going to be an eco and the utility. The utility damage has been just exceptional today.
Indeed it has, man. Like, things have been looking so so good with the nades and the Molotovs. Imagining if you pull that stat line up, you'd see some pretty ridiculous numbers. Kills coming in against low HP players as well have really helped out the Excellency defensive when they can predict where SELECTAH are going to go. As it stands here in the anti-eco, Excellency leading by a man advantage. Jimka taking tag up to 5 HP, taps up from the AKs. NK standing, spray through, damage done to JL, 32 points of health. Burst up, nice and efficient there from the CT camps. And that's going to be the half gain by Excellency. SELECTAH got a re-buy back into this one. Got 3 rounds to wake up, 2 possible so far in this half.
Really, we haven't seen a lot of T-side AWPing at all coming out from SELECTAH. So I can imagine that going into that second half, if they've got the money for it, and we certainly saw on the City side Edward picking it up on Inferno and Dust 2 in particular. So an opportunity for the a Russian core to be able to maybe run the double AWPs going in the second round, or the second half, I should say. Something that Excellency haven't done even once, I want to say. Especially on train.
Dav standing by, AWP ready to receive. Good peek out, got an AK there, and the AWP will escape alive. Holmes will not be so lucky. 4-on-4 situation. Smokes out, counter flashes from Dav. And Selecta do not press the issue, knowing that they've lost the man advantage initially. Could still work within the context of a 4v4. A minute to go to make it happen, though.
SELECTAH just, they're waiting. They're waiting for an overextension. And get that utility out and just execute the B bomb site together. One thing they've got to certainly be worried about, or at least thinking, is where are we going to try and go once we get the site? Do we want to aggress or do we want to play passive? And even for NK, he's got the information.
A kill on Edward. Man advantage tipping back the favour of Excellency, and NK still sitting back here towards Cross. JL drops. Next up is Raven, giving up another good 1v1, but doesn't quite land it. Dab through the smoke, predicts it well, takes him down, and Tapper is the lone man left standing here. Bomb plant towards the back line over on default, and a bit of cover has been given to him by the smokes up, but his spray is awkward, so Hutchie can take him down. It will be a 9th round for Excellency, and SELECTAH unable to do much there. They did get a bomb plant. It might bolster the buy going into round 15, but it will still be a hard force back.
Yeah, look, I certainly don't think they've got enough money for the AWP. Let's have a look at the money line. No, not really. So it's probably just going to be the AKs across the board. And for Excellency, it seems like finally we're starting to see some control from them, because you've got to think that second map, they really never had a stint of control. Maybe that sort of 5 rounds in that first half in a row, but outside of that, it was really only the first half of Inferno where we saw a lot of confidence coming out from this Excellency side. And 10 rounds on CT, I would say they'd be pretty pleased. Maybe for both sides, to be fair. I mean, even 5 rounds up for this SELECTAH side can still be pretty pleased. I mean, T side, especially on train, if you're a relatively new team or a team that don't play it, it's very difficult to get rounds up. And they're proving that they're at least able to put up a pretty decent performance in this first half.
Going into round 15, we're at 9-5, both literally and in the scoreline, but you know, Excellency leading at this stage. Good spot to take a 10th as well for the CT camp. Of course, the utility is limited for SELECTAH, but their rifles are still looking real good. Nades on, just doing initial damage, but not much against the T side. It's actually 75 for Dow, who's the most tagged up player at this moment.
Excellency trying to at least deal with this Ivy presence with not a lot of manpower. It's really only Relax that's here to try and get a little bit of information, but as soon as he gets re-smoked off, it's going to allow the split into the A bomb site. SELECTAH slowing it right down. And, well, for Excellency, we've seen a second man rotate over to B, so it's only going to be 3 defenders here at the A bomb site, and this is looking to be a straightforward split.
Molotov down from Rylax. Damage has been done. Further incendiary, seeing Edward cross out towards Old Hell. I don't know if he got the info on NK. He looked pretty blind there. Nades up, Rylax tagged up, M4 still standing by. Here towards A1, he's so blind, but they aren't going to check his angle. I think it's clear. Raven falls, Hutchie back in trade. NK still sitting around here in the open, seeing one player back at Old Hell. Jimka swings up for a double, but Rylax chimes in, gets himself a double of his own, and a 3-on-2 situation. 2-on-2 as Jimka chimes back. Triple kills, quadra kill for Jimka. Dav, last man standing, 1-on-2. Orb out, sees the first man, taps up, misses his shot. Tech9 up against JL, knows he's close, gets that headshot, and now it's all the Jumka for the ace against the big green gun, against the Tech9 semi-auto. Taps once, trying to force him out. He's low HP. This pistol could win it out for Dav. He's just got to find the right shot. No! The spray's better for the T-side rifler as SELECTAH close out the half with an ace. A 9-6 half for Excellency, but I think SELECTAH can be happy with what they achieved.
Oh, what a round from Jimka in particular. Man, the ace to come out. And you've got to think, just overextensions there coming out on the City side. Why Holmes is peeking up like that in a 3-on-2? They could have just played together. They could have established a crossfire, retaken as a unit. And as soon as Holmes overextends, he gets taken down. It's a 2-on-2, and they're just buying time. Oh my, what a last round coming up for the SELECTAH side. And, well, it's going into the pistol round, where they have been 3 rounds out of 4 in terms of pistols so far. No, it's got to be more than that, actually. It's got to be 5 out of 6, I believe. Or could be 5 out of 6 if they win this.
Well, let's have a look if they can make it happen. Taps up from the USPs. Edward's going to burn. Dav takes him down with the Glock. Gets a double onto Jimka. An easy 2-man advantage for Excellency as they storm up here into the B-bomb site. Tapper will find one response, trying to get overzealous here for the T side. And they do actually lose trades with 3-on-3, making it 2. And Holmes and Dav tagged up the unbelief as USPs come in. Good shot from JL. Swings on the second man. Executes him with a guillotine, and just like that, SELECTAH get the retake. So yes, they will be up for another good pistol over on this CT side.
2 pistol rounds on Inferno, 1 on Dust 2, and now 2 on Train. That is honestly ridiculous coming out from SELECTAH. These guys on pistol rounds, they've got the goods, and for Excellency, that is not the way to start off going into the second half. They were able to put up a good lead. And you've got to think now, do they force the issue? They got a bomb plant? No, they're opting to just upgrade a little bit here. So there's some upgraded deagles, a bit of flashbangs to work with. But all in all, they're looking to get the rifles up into the next.
And they're out here with the M4 straight up. The Eagle from Dav. Taking face here for Excellency, the first man out of the gate. The flashbang over the bomb to make his way out. Sees 2, takes 1 head, could not get the second. Raven chimes in, M4 comes back, but they clear out Ivy. 3-on-3 situation. 2 on the bomb site now to try and get a bomb plant here. Nades up, burst up, good headshot from Edward. Doubles up on Hutchie, leaving it all to Holmes now. Bomb out of position, Edward finds his 3K. And SELECTAH will still lose 2 players for that, so not the best of CT defensives.
Yeah, look, certainly was quite damaging. And now for Excellency, going into round number 18. It's going to be the AKs up, and you've got to think for them, maybe trying to get a little bit of aggression, see if you can get a player quite aggressive out towards that Olaf position or out through Sandwich. Have to see what they can bring to the table on this T side. The one thing they really need to do is get this round on the board, because this is not quite a bonus round considering how many players went down, but you look at the buy and you think, man, there is not a lot of M4s in the playing field.
Rifles out for Excellency, trying to see if they can gain the pop dog control. Nades and Molotovs, and look at Jimka. They are tagged up here. He's going to hear those 2 players drop down. He knows what's going on. Out through Pop Dog, they have no idea. He could find 2 easy kills. He's going to wait for them to rotate back, but they're going to split into A, so he's going to just be able to hold off against them over the course of the actual execution here. Molotovs to force them back. NK's going to burn. This makes the frags even easier for Jimka. It all comes down to timing for this man.
Everyone's at A. There's 4 players at the A bomb site. It could be a quick rotator up through Pop Dog and Jimka. Man, this is a round-winning play. This is so big, and for Excellency, they have no idea it's a gamble stack.
Smoke on, flash over, AK moves in, Tapper gets NK and Hutchie, and that backstab from Jimka feels like a waste. Rylax gets Edward at least for 1, but JL chimes in, and Jimka gets his piece of the pie, leaving it all to Dav. 1-on-3. Dealt with very easily. SELECTAH on CT defense, and we thought Excellency might swing in with aggression, but no, they have been shut down in whole here.
Oh my goodness, that's just such a big play, and for Excellency, they're thinking, I'm not sure if they read that the gamble stack came in because of Jimka getting aggressive, but they would have known that after they lost a couple of kills that there was a player of T-Con that went down to that Fama out through Pop Dog, so they could have a bit of an idea that a backstab play came through. And here comes the aggression, turning up the tempo a little bit, at least into getting some early position at the A-bomb site.
Tech9's out here towards Ivy. You're going to see Hutchie and overwhelm JL. They'll get damage, no frag. Orp gets that kill every time. And the Raven could get shut down, actually. Indeed, he does by the hands of NK. The bomb's been dropped top of red, though. Or top of blue, I should say. Nice peek in with the pistol. Nades on. Rylax will get it to a 2 versus 2, actually. JL trains NK, so Excellency doing a pretty decent job so far. Minute and 15 to grab that bomb. Edward's going to swing in, tap onto Holmes, take him out. Rylax, last player left here, and then for out towards the left position. Got to swing on his player, take him down. Bit too much with the HP advantage, and SELECTAH Again, going to lose quite a bit on their money line, so Excellency could still reset the economy here. We've got the buy up here for the T side to try and make that a reality.
And Excellency, it really seems like on the gun rounds, they play quite passive and they kind of go into a default heavy setup, whereas when they're on the eco half buys, that's where we see a little bit more aggression. So maybe a bit of a change in tempo. And seeing if they can get a bit more aggression in the gun rounds might try and help them, and they've certainly tried to do that with Holmes to start the round off. And slowly going to take the Ivy presence a little bit later in the round, and well, for SELECTAH, are fighting a very good buy against a very good buy, but that's a good opening coming out from Excellency, and it's been a while in this second half that they've found an opening kill.
Shot down on JL. Big frag to find as well. Very carefully, Excellency will take their second face here towards Ivy in particular. Smoke down from NK will give him the opportunity to make his way up. Doesn't give up the angle to the M4 here of Raven. Edward's going to back up away from the bomb site as well. So Excellency gained that little bit of map control. So now need to find the secondary kills to turn the round well and truly to their favor. Turn away from NK, offered up 2 good headshots. None of them will come through. Edward chimes in for 1 pick, but Rylax and NK do chime back into their own right. Hookji gets Jimka down, so 4 players alive for Excellency. We need more confident rounds like that here from the T side.
And that was honestly just trying to bait mistakes out from SELECTAH, because all they really did there for the T's, they took the Ivy presence, they slowed it right down, and you could just see that they were waiting. They were waiting for the CTs to over-aggress and peek into the angles, and that's where they get taken down. A 10-10 after what was a very good start in the second half of 5 rounds in a row has now completely broken the economy from the CT side.
Indeed it has. SELECTAH straight out with the USPs here with no real chance to do anything against Excellency. AK's coming up, but slowly but surely they'll make their way around. NK with the smoke coming up with the flashbang, also going over. A second one coming through as well. Nades set potentially onto the summit spot, but there's 1 CT holding. And USPs get that 1 frag. Hutchie and Rylax chime in. Holmes gets 1 pick of his own right, and the CTs in the back line cleared out. 2 more back behind the trains, and JL will get 1 frag on Hutchie. So 2 do fall, but that's as far as it will go. Bomb plant should be secured. JL to potentially get a frag back on Holmes. Nah, not to be. And that's Excellency regaining their lead above SELECTAH. Finally looking good for the T's, and the economy now stack up to a decent rifle round now for the CT side.
And Excellency, you've got to think that they could be in complete control here, winning out this following gun round. And SELECTAH haven't really seen a lot of aggression coming out. Again, I would say both these teams on the City side have been playing relatively passive. We've only seen a handful of rounds where they decide to go for big backstab plays. And fast out to the Brown Halls once again to at least establish this control. Jimka only going to hear a little bit of information.
Mar standing alongside Holmes. An M4 standing for Edward alongside Jimka here. The utility set for the T side. At least that smoke to try and fake an idea onto the A bomb. So there's only 1 player throwing that smoke down. Actually on connector is where that smoke will go. Jimka here, M4. Sorry for Mars, I should say, bailing into the AK, the M4 there to back it up, and Edward Bahuchi's already made his way around the corner. 5-on-3 situation, Excellency at B site. SELECTAH out of the round.
Yeah, the instant save, yeah. And I'll tell you what, that's a really nice smoke for, people at home to try and learn of what Relax is able to throw. So it's actually a deep con smoke to help the B-site players get into the site. And people might be questioning, why would you do that when you just can have one of the site entries of the B bomb site throwing that smoke? And the reason for that is, Jay, is because Relax is using that smoke to make sure that they have another one to use at the B bomb side while he can lurk around at A, whether he goes out towards T-Con at the end of the round or to at least go back up to Pop Dog to stop any kind of rotations coming in. And it means that later into the round, they've got that extra smoke for the post plant. Smart call on the safe. They really could not have gone for that.
They're in a bit of a weird situation. Selecta having the AWP and the scout on this rebuy here. It is looking dire. The money line looking even worse. Look how quickly NK wants to make his way out. AK straight in, seeing the man spraying through. Tapper 56 HP, NK down to 94. AK from Hutji will try to take the aggressive facing. Will fall to JL on the 1-for-1 trade. Jimka follows suit on towards NK all the same. So 2-for-1 favor of Selecta. Defensive holding. They haven't checked this side of presence though. Raven's in trouble and Raven's dead. Smoke clearing. The AWP can respond all the same. So Selecta maintain the man advantage. Holmes and Dav last two players. And Holmes pushing up to the connected area. They have the B-side control. The plant can come through.
They might not know how aggressive Holmes is going to be able to press up, so he can go even further. He can try and get into CT if he wants to. He's got so many options here. And Dav needs to be the man to at least pull the attention away. I love this play from Holmes. He's getting so deep into the wraparound.
Yeah, he's going to be there to shut them all down if he can make his way out from the other CT entrance. The York going to scope in, look for a pick, catch off JL. AK sees one top of yellow, does not see the second man. Yes, he does. He baits out Edward to distract him for a moment, and the Molotov to force him back over his CT. Meanwhile, the AK of Dab is on site, ready to receive. Spray back, Edward goes down, and Excellency, even when they're pressured, managed to fight out of a difficult situation.
And I certainly feel as if that comes down to the team experience, right? Is the way that they know what they want to achieve to bring some rounds back. In particular, especially for SELECTAH, is it seems like when they lose an opening advantage or they're down in an awkward position, they find it really difficult to come back. Whereas for Excellency, they know exactly what the game plan is once they've already lost those opening picks. 13-10. And what was a great start in that second half of the City side has now started to spiral out of control, and they don't have a lot of rounds to work with at this point.
And running out of breathing room, needing something on the board to try and clutch this back, try and get themselves under control, because Excellency could be on to win this on the T side of all things. It looked like our Selecta dreams were going to come true there with their CT half. You know, the T side going well, therefore go to the CT side where everything should look, you know, pretty peachy off the basis of how Train plays. We saw that initially. We didn't see any more of that after they started falling apart. Deagle's in for Jimka. Actually drops that bomb. NK responds to it quick though, so the scouts set up here. Deagle in the back line gets one frag to a 3-on-3. Holmes gets Raven. Scout shot missing against the tagged up. Holmes does eventually find a shot against him, but now Tapper is the only player left. 2 taps to find, 2 kills to take. No kit, no utility either, so this is still going to be a difficult retake regardless. Trying to get his knife up close. Check onto the bomb train. He's being heard though, they should know where he is. Indeed, they will peek out as soon as he taps that bomb. Not even actually before that, so 4 kills for NK, 14 to Excellency, 1 final buy for Selecta. They need this round.
They really do. This is kind of the last chance here for SELECTAH. And got to be honest, Jay, yeah, I was thinking, you know, double AWPs, maybe some sort of change-up. We need to see a change-up. And whether it's a bit of aggression or whether it's maybe a gamble stack, they keep playing these defaults and they'll just keep losing rounds. We're really starting to see Excellency pull ahead. And finally, this is what I believe is the first time throughout the entire rounds of Train we've seen of a double AWP coming out for either team.
Yeah, saw very little of it from Excellency. I didn't know if Selecta were going to bring it out of their own right, but they'll have something going for them. So maybe these AWPs could find the first pick and the follow-up frags. They've got Edward set up to the connector area. They've got JL backed up passive on Ivy. The smoke's coming in against Tapper. Will do the damage initially for Selecta, and Jim also falling 73 HP. So Excellency again, just utility damage every single time. The opening frags don't come through, but they tag up Selecta as much as they can.
A little chip damage here and there makes it all important once the execution comes through. What's looking to be a bit of an A split coming out for the T side. They need to deal with Tapper out through Pop Dog.
Waiting here with Holmes, bursts up, Holmes takes him down, big start, AWP from JL chimes in for one, he's blind as a bat, those sprays, Maneki escapes through smoke and just about saves his life. Dav comes up with an AWP pick, Edward can't land his, but Jimka still drops that bomb to a 3-on-3. They are so low on HP for this CT side though, and there's time for the T's to recover. Good pick on one from NK, bomb needs to get picked up and planted. They're seen towards top, a dig it, Booth, and NK gets that kill. All Jimka in a 1-on-3 situation. And there's no way in for him from here. There's just no chance, I think, in this 1 versus 3. He does isolate NK, and he rotates back to the B site. So Excellency, you have a free bomb plant.
Yeah, this is it from Jimka. Even going for it's going to be a tough one. Maybe trying to bring that M4 into the next round might not be a bad option. But the circumstances are not great. And yeah, the safe call coming through. Bring that M forward. Mate, this is looking really rough for the SELECTAH side. And I'm honestly a little bit surprised that they're struggling on a lot of these gun rounds in recent times. I really thought it would have been the CT side where they can start to pull ahead. But it seemed like the early momentum with the pistol round was theirs. But once they lost that gun round and once they'd lost that streak, it just all crumbled from there.
This is 15. Match point for Excellency. The expected victors in this series could have gone 2-0 in Dust 2, but may well go 2-1 here on Train. So let's see if they can close it out. They have one more round to win, one more buy to face, and it's a forced buy as well from SELECTAH. So this ain't gonna be fun. This is not gonna be fun at all from the CT side. They got 2 scouts, 2 M4s, 1 from us. Mostly full sets of utility here, so they have enough to try and contest against. But again, the firepower difference is so massive, but they outpace and outfrag to kick things off in the CT favor.
And, well, that's a change-up we've been looking for what the last few rounds. SELECTAH finally going to get aggressive, taking the T-Com presence. They find the opening pick out towards the brown halls. And you've just got to think, where was this for most of this second half, Jay?
Hans of the AK looking on, trying to make their way down into the brown halls. The flash is over from Dav. The Molotovs in. Try and contest here on the Excellency side. A minute to go. The smoke on, and Edward just keeping his eyes on with the scout. SELECTAH will be the first of 5 rounds they need to win to take us to overtime. Here we go. Utility coming out. Execution from Excellency. Smoke, Molotov on from Jimka. They'll run straight through the fire, take a little bit of damage for it, but still get out to the bomb site. Jimka gets that kill on the bomb planter though, and Tapper makes his way out from Connector, leaving it all to Rylax. Excellency getting overly aggressive, pushing that bomb way too much further than it needed to be, but Rylax is finding kills. Could not find Tapper, taking his knife out at the worst moment, and SELECTAH will just stay alive.
Oh, that's a big round. Very big round from the City side. And you've got to think for Excellency there, they had a game plan of rather than just getting the bomb down straight away, we want to aggress. We want to try and force the CTs back. And all it came down to was the CTs working around those smokes, getting the levels of elevation. And even with a round victory like that, they don't even have a complete full buy going forward. It's going to be an MP9 up for JL and aggression once again.
SMG for JL, looking on for NK, 64 points of HP, tagged up by the man. And Jimka with the M4, seeing that face, seeing those two, he's going to fall back. He's not going to give up the man advantage for SELECTAH. He does not want to concede this. And out of dodge, out of position, Molotov's coming in, bursts up. The AKs continue to hold. And SELECTAH get out of dodge here. Minute and 15. And they are very passive. They're very careful about their face here. Excellency will get a bit more aggressive with NK looking to make his way out from upper. Only one player to take down. That's Jimka. But backed up here, the flashbang probably should allow the entries. No kills. They see the man now. He's seen them all the same. The bomb plant can be secured. There's nobody else here on the bomb site. And the spray through can't take him down. But 12 HP, he won't get a chance to reface.
That's a free bomb site. Putting all this utility down is only just going to buy them more time because the CTs, they're going to be just so delayed to retaking this bomb site. They either need to push through the utility or just try and wait it out.
Okay, and NK standing by towards Summit and The connector train flashes over, evaded by the T side. Big shot missed from the AWP, but they're so far pushed up that they're going to be caught off guard here. Spray through from Hook. GJL comes in the back, takes out 2, looks back on Badav. 3 versus 2 now as the trades go well for Excellency. They've seen one top of white. Rylax gets Edward, and it's all left to Raven. He can't do it. 16-11 Excellency will take their opening series here in the Swiss system, going up against SELECTAH and doing a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, for Excellency, I certainly thought that going into this matchup that they would have had a